Hey guys, this is Ken from Sillywesties again. I'm going to put a little short insert here. It's kind of an important thing when you're working with plastics, especially plastics that are like the Walters modular. You'll notice this has always seemed to be a problem, and that is having those terrible looking lines. Some people don't mind that, you know. I don't. Again, they have factory seams here where you can fit that plastic up in there, and it'll be at the same height, and that's always a pain. I'm going to show you a real quick trick here. And that is so that you can get the best look out of your models. Now, I've sometimes will take and I'll put a pretty good size or good bevel on the back side of my model, and it's a matter of working with it till you can get the effect that you want. Excuse me for this. So, all right. And you'll very well notice that I'm starting to get catching up on that. I'm starting to get rid of that seam there, and that is the hard part with this hobby is that making it where we try to get rid of that seam, especially as the bigger structures you got. You are trying to hide that and get it to look really, really clean, and so I'll keep filing away on that. There may be several different techniques, whatever's the best that works for you. And some of them too, a friend of mine, he always says, I keep applying the glue. Now sometimes it'll fuzz up with me on that edge, so I want to make sure that edge is clean. Anyhow, you can very well see it's starting to disappear. If I can see right there. But it's a matter of pushing in as you apply the glue. And as you apply the glue, what's going to end up happening is in this joint right here, it's going to ooze out as more you apply the glue. So once it dries, you'll come back in there with a straight edge, and you'll where it's peeled out there, you'll take and you're going to scrape that glue off right there in that edge. Now I'm not going to glue this piece because there's really no need in that, but filing as much as you can off of the back side of this piece and having enough of bevel on that edge, not too much, but just enough, you'll get a lot cleaner edge right there on your model. Now, that brings up another conversation, another thought, and that is a lot of the times we got our models that we are making a corner. Well, you don't want to just butt this up there unless you're doing an inside corner. You don't want to butt that up like this, because what will happen is you'll end up, let me push this up here just a hair, you'll end up getting a bad looking edge right there. So what we want to do is we want to bevel that. So taking the plastic, try to get it as close as you can to 45. It's a matter of working the edge till you sand up to that edge there and put a bevel on that. And we're going to do that on our other piece. And then sometimes I'll use a square, or some of them they'll even use a machinist square. And you're going to put these things together with the beveled edge, and then you're going to glue that. But you're going to also want it to hold real close, hold it in place. So you might have to tape and the square, whatever it's going to take to glue that and keep that edge square on that edge as you're gluing it. Again, we're not using any particular model, but again, using any of the wall kits like Walters, DPM. You can modify a lot of these structures to your liking, your tasting. Also, you'll see that I took the block walls and I glued them on top. Where are you here? There we go. You'll see that I glued that on the top there because a lot of times the walls aren't tall enough for me, and if I got a tall building that's maybe 20 or 30 feet tall, or excuse me, 40 feet tall, I'm going to have to stack them. And of course I want to make sure that my joints are stacked. Now, it just so happens that Pike Stuff has a neat little joint right there that joins those together. I had a scrap piece here that I can show you, and that's how they join together. Not bad looking joint there. Once it's glued together, and you want to make sure you glue it from the back side and try to get it. Now I've glued them from the front edge, but it's not the same. It's not as pretty. And I just so happens I had to add on to this because I was running out of styrene. So, and you'll see I even put some short walls in here. You want to try to hide that joint best you can, and Pike Stuff has done a really good job. Yes, they knit it in there, and sometimes what'll happen is if you get too much glue out there, just like the Roberts brick mortar, it won't go in that area. Another problem with brick walls and block walls is if you spray a lot of especially heavy coats of paint, it's going to get inside all those nooks and crannies there, and even your Roberts brick material and some of your other materials. I've even seen people put paint on this edge and then lightly sand it off later on. So there's a few details there to how to work with different kinds of plastics. Just experiment. There's the possibilities endless. We'll be probably looking at some more projects here in the future here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you the next time.